Hi there, Gems. I hope you've had a wonderful start to the event. I want to introduce myself to you. My name is Maria Ines Zelaya, and I'm very happy to be guiding you today as your mentor for the Service Design Jam 2020. I'm currently a strategic designer at Digital Scientist. We explore and build digital products, and we're based right here in Atlanta. This is me. I'm doing exactly what I'm going to teach you today. Insight gathering by using a technique called affinity mapping. This right here is what physically an affinity mapping starts to look like. Chaos. And slowly we start to find affinity with our post-its, and you'll end up having a few very clear insights that will guide your project. So I hope you have a really good time today and you really learn the most you can. If at the end any of you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. So let's get started. So what exactly is affinity mapping? It's a graphic technique to sort, identify, analyze, and synthesize data by using affinity diagramming. We do it by using post-its. These can be physical post-its or virtual post-its. But something that's really important for affinity mapping is keeping a color code in the data we have. So why exactly is affinity diagramming really important to service designs? Well, first of all, it's a process that brings together issues from all types of customers together into one space, and it really allows us to hear the voice of the user. It allows us to see issues of all types of users and not just one individual. It helps us uncover hidden relationships in our research, and it's going to really help your team to deal with complex problems and reach consensus into figuring out what problem you want to solve today. So, as I said before, it's a step that has four processes. And like I said, it's very important to keep the color coordination depending on what moment of the affinity you are currently in. So it's a process that works by refining information from the top up. So starting from very general in the yellows to going to very specific and concise information in the greens, which is the area where you'll find your insight. So let's start by talking about the yellows. So by now, you should have collected data through various research methods, and it's time to begin to identify patterns. So lay out all the information into separate stickies. You want to write one statement per sticky note, and you want to always be using the voice of the user. So start the sentences by saying I, we, us, and just lay them all out onto your Miro board. Keep in mind, you never want to start grouping yellows by categories. You want to start by grouping them by concepts. That is really crucial in this part of the process. Never worry about making a mess of the information, and avoid any preconceptions you might have of the information. Move the post-its around freely, and if a team member wants to move one post-it that you have grouped in one cluster and wants to move it to another one, just be really calm about that. It's important for the information to flow and for the post-its to find their right cluster. Once you have more solid clusters, you then want to put a blue on top, and also once you have more than 6 post-its, 6 yellow post-its, you can start to form a blue, and if you have more than 6 post-its in one cluster, then feel free to break them apart. So in step 2, the blues. Once you have looked at the clusters you have of the yellows, you can already start to, that look concise, you can put a blue post-it on top. The blue tells you what really matters to the user, and it should be an abstract or a summary of what the yellows tell you. And it also uses the voice of the user. So remember to let the data speak for itself and to capture content. Next, you might have guessed it, the pinks. The pinks come from the blue clusters, and they label and reveal key issues that are important to the users. Again, we will keep using the voice of the user and let the data speak for itself. Do not assume anything. Also, you should not be using the third person. Next, we group together those pinks, which will come to your last category, which is the greens. These now reveal core insights. These do not have to be in the voice of the user, and you can write it as a statement or as something a little bit more catchy that really reveals the information shown here. So even though the green should be showing you an insight of all the information down below, you can also go backwards and use a yellow sticky that is going to justify what is being said up at the green. So keep that in mind and make sure you have that data in your mind, as when you pitch or show your idea, you can always go back and read a few of those yellow stickies that is going to really show you the voice of the user. So after your insight has been formed, go back with your team and really pick out those ones that stand out for you. Vote on which statement you really want to start looking at and form a how might we statement. This will invite the team to give direction to the problem and solve initiatives by using divergent thinking. Finally, before I end this chapter with you guys, I really want to recommend some remote collaboration tools that you could use for this process. So I want to recommend Otter. It's a transcription system, and I think it's one of the best ones. It has a very long free trial. On the other hand, there's Dovetail. They are a system that really helps in transcribing. When you input a video into Dovetail, it has a very simple way that you can go in and really adapt the text. And you can also use Dovetail to affinitize, like directly onto that website. So I think that's a really cool tool to try. And if you're working with teams, I would suggest going on to Miro or Mural. That is going to really help that information move and for you guys to share and collaborate together. All right, so now that we've gone over all the steps, I'm hoping that you will be successful in implementing these skills today in the workshop. If you have any questions, of course, reach out to me or any of the other mentors about affinity diagramming. If you have any questions about other tools, I'd also be very happy to help. Please feel free to reach out to me. Good luck. I really hope you have an awesome service jam and have fun. Have a good one.